I think it's crazy to be at this stage, Claire. 3 performance directors later, 2 Reluctance committee meetings, which ended up just being talk shops. And nothing has happened. Nobody has stood up and actually taken these people to task. It's a disgrace, There's people's psychological welfare being affected by this. To talk about now in sport, to talk about the athletes' psychological safety. But what about the performance directors and what about the coaches? Nobody's talking about those and what their psychological safety.
Yeah, Billy, you spoke before about when you were making the decision to leave, that was a really, really tough time on you, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and you were very open about that. And it's the same for Bernard, isn't it? Because you're not doing this if you're a high performance director. You're not doing that because it's a job. You're doing it because you love it.
Look, there was 3 of us there that have been Gary Keegan, who showed the way to all of us, and then myself, and then Bernard. And all of us are entrenched in Irish boxing. We're in it since we were kids. We love the sport, and we loved our country, and it was an honour to represent our country. And then, to leave was such a difficult piece for me, and I spent lots of nights crying on my own. I was in Doha when I made the decision that I was going to resign. Psychologically, I was in a bad place, and I know Bernard has been in a bad place for several months now, because this has been going on since February 2021, and it hasn't been resolved. And I think that's the killing thing about it. Nobody has stood up and supported me or supported Bernard. And I think Sport Ireland has a lot to answer for. Claire, if you look at what's been invested in this programs since 2003, there's probably around 12 million euros that's been invested in the high performance boxing program. And here we are, as I said, 3 performance directors later and 2 Reluctance meetings, and still nothing is resolved, and it hasn't got any better.
Yeah, so the Minister, though, has said in this instance that he's really concerned about the constant difficulties that we're seeing in boxing. This is Minister Jack Chambers. This is the third high performance director to leave. It's causing significant disruption and uncertainty for many members across the sport. So they're certainly aware at government level of what's going on.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear that he's just concerned. This has gone on since 2008. We've been there since 2003, and Gary Keegan had to fight all the battles at the very beginning. And then I took on the mantle after 2008, and then Bernard took it on in 2017. And we all faced similar problems throughout that time, not being allowed to do your job and not having any autonomy to do your job. And it was very, as you said, psychologically, I was in a very, very poor place when I decided to leave.
So look, you obviously know about your own situation and what happened there. Bernard's been in touch with you and you've spoken a lot to him about this. Is it the exact same problem? Is that what he's told you?
It's similar problems, yes, exactly similar problems. I think it's, we got a professional unit inside an amateur organisation, and for some reason they continuously put roadblocks in your way, contradictory to the role I went to play in the United States. Whereas every day they ask me, how can we help you get better? It's a joy to work there. They give you the autonomy to do your job, and they also give you respect for the role that you play. And that's the problem in Ireland. You don't have the respect for the role that you play, and they're not giving you the autonomy to do your job.
Yeah, I have the statement from the Irish Athletic Boxing Association in front of me, and it's strange because it says, Billy, that they regard this document which was sent around about Bernard, the one that's at issue here, as malicious and an appalling attack on a member of staff. So they're rejecting everything that was in it. They're rejecting the fact that this has happened. They regret that he has resigned. And yet it seems that they're not doing much to try to fix it. Is that right? Is that your take on it as well?
That's correct. And Bernard, there was no action taken after this malicious document was released, just as the team was going to try and qualify for the Olympic Games at a very crucial time, and still no action taken about it. So how can they be disgusted with it or, say that they don't agree with it when they didn't actually, the inaction proved otherwise.
Mm-hmm. The statement says there's a small cohort of the Irish boxing family that has expressed robust dissatisfaction with the high performance unit since its inception in 2003, and they want to see the selection of Team Ireland for the boxers for the international competitions undertaken by people other than professionals or high performance staff. So they want that selection process left to the amateur organisation. Is that it?
Yes, they're looking at, there's 30 people in the Central Council that come to a meeting once a month and they want to select a team. That is like Brian Cody, at the Kilkenny County Board picking Brian Cody's team. Does that not sound stupid?
Well, it sounds to me like the IABA wants the high performance director to do the job that he was brought in to do, whether it's you or Bernard or Gary. But they seem to be unable to control this other group who want the amateur organisation to do that function.
But, you know, the leaders within the organisation are the same leaders that were there when I left. So the same people are there and they're allowing this to happen, or they're part of what's happening.
What can you tell me about, because Bernard has been reluctant, he said a few words about this publicly, but, you know, clearly he doesn't want to come out and do an interview like the interview that we're doing tonight, and you know why, because you know what it feels like to be in this position. But how would you say he's doing, Billy?
I think, and similar to myself, I think he's in a better place now that he's made the decision. The turmoil to leave your dream job, it was very daunting for me, and I know Bernard has had similar problems dealing with it. But now that he's made a decision, he's in a better place. He thinks he's made the right decision. I think hopefully again it will shine a light on it. But I think Sport Ireland, or the Irish government, who has invested 12 million in this programme over the last 20 years, need to stand up and make people accountable for their actions or inactions.
And then, of course, there's the boxers, not forgetting the boxers, and I'm sure this is very unsettling for those people. Absolutely.
At the end of the day, this programme is revolved around its boxers central, you know. It's about the athletes. It should be about the athletes. But unfortunately, the IABA has not made it about the athletes. It's about them, it's about their egos, you know, and it's about their power and control.
Yeah, Kelly Harrington tweeted that she'd like to see Bernard change his mind about leaving, but it's hard when you're not allowed to do your job the way it should be done. So she clearly sees what Bernard feels is going on. He was a great director of the high performance unit, but that's just very unsettling, isn't it? If you're an athlete at that level and Bernard now is gone, reluctantly gone.
Well, you got no stability, you know, and she's had tremendous success. You know, Bernard, you know, after I left in 2016 ended up being a disaster for Irish boxing, where we didn't win the medal at the Olympic Games. And Bernard turned it around with Kelly and won a gold and a bronze medal in Tokyo. You know, did a fantastic job. And the athletes obviously loved him, and he was doing a tremendous job in building them towards being another great Olympic team as we head forward to Paris.
And as Kelly sorry, Billy, to cut across you, but as Kelly touched on there, he has been asked to reconsider by the IABA. Do you think he will, or is he gone and out and done?
At this stage, I don't think he's going to come back. I think what has gone on has gone on for too long, and they're closing the gate after the horse is bolted. All
right, Billy, thanks very much for talking to us, and we wish Bernard Dunne well too. That's Billy Walsh. Thanks, Billy.